agenda itself. It's a new format they came out with this year. Approval of the March 2022 expenses.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Old business? None? New business, motion to approve or deny resolution 2022-06. It's a DCNR C2p2 Grant application.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second. To approve.
Okay, Matt, you want to elaborate on this grant for us?
Sure, we're looking to do the C2p2 Grant, which is a DCNR grant for parks and recreation. We're looking at doing improvements at our two parks. The first one up on the screen is for Community Park, and with this one we are looking to do a playground area. Let me see if I can get my cursor over there. So we're going to do a playground area here at the intersection of the driveways. We're looking to do a trail from the parking lot here at the Township building through the woods to the baseball fields in the back, and the back parking lot there is a fitness trail with a little spur here to go past the playground, with some handicap parking provided there. And then a restroom at the playground area tentatively, and then we have the public water coming in from the existing restroom, and then the sewer to tie into the existing Township sanitary sewer. And then the only other thing with this one is we added in the possibility of putting electric and lighting to the one little league field here in the back. And then with all the improvements, we'd have to have stormwater, so we have a stormwater facility being constructed there. And then, let's see if this works. I'm gonna try to do this on this screen. We're gonna move to Picnicana. And with Picnicana, basically we're looking to upgrade equipment and make improvements to the playground. So we have the playground here. This would become a little more of an enlarged youth playground area. And then back here we have kind of the bigger kids playground with more age appropriate implements for them. So that's it for that.
Okay, are there any questions regarding this grant we're applying for?
When would this be done?
Well, the grant is a pretty lengthy process. I don't know, it probably a couple of years out before,
Yeah.
you know, we'll get to construction phase or anything like that. And it really depends on if we, you know, pick up some of these grant monies.
Yeah, typically the grants are due this Wednesday, and then typically they would award it in the fall, like October, November of this year, and then you probably wouldn't see any money for at least a year or so, and then you have 2 years to use the funds to complete the project. That's roughly the time frame. So it's 2 to 3 years out.
Okay. Do you have any numbers, rough estimates or anything? Cost?
Tentatively, Picnicana, we're looking at around $200,000 for playground equipment, and then for Community Park, it's $400,000 to $500,000 for all the improvements. And it's a 50-50 match. We can use in-kind services, and we were talking with Community Park, the trail through the woods, we could do that with our forces, and we'll just be buying materials.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, anything else? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay, B on the new business, the MS4 public input. This is an information session that we try to do once a year to try to keep everybody up to speed on MS4. Do I have a motion to approve the MS4 input session?
Well, I don't have to make a motion, I'll just
Okay.
go through it.
All right.
So it should be up, hopefully this works. Let me change it for for our viewers at home. So, welcome to the 2022 MS4 Public Input Session. So, as years prior, we do this annually. It's kind of a where we're at, where we're going, and where we need to be kind of thing. And then at the end, we'll take input from the audience on things that are of concern to you. So on the first slide here, the MS4. All right, let's try this again. All right, now it's working. So the MS4, it stands for the Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System, hence MS4, so there's 4 S's. Our current permit cycle is scheduled to end in March of 23, so this is actually a renewal year for us. We have to have the MS4 renewal in by September 30th, so you'll probably see some action on that. I think there's a public input or a public comment section and everything whenever we do the renewal. But the MS4 permit runs on a 5-year cycle, and we're at the end of the current 5-year cycle. And as you see on the screen up top, the MS4 area is the area highlighted in pink, and this is based off the census data. Currently, we're operating under the 2010 census data, but I expect with renewal or shortly thereafter, it would reflect the 2020 census data once that's available and processed. So with that, I would believe, my mouse go over there, you can't see it. The area around 5 points where it's white, I would expect that to kind of fill in and be included in it as well. And then some areas to the south along Hammett. So it's based off of population density. So currently in that MS4 area, we have 178 MS4 outfalls. We're required to inspect each and every one of them once per the 5-year cycle. Of those 178, there's 54 that have a dry weather flow, which means 24 to 48 hours after rainstorm and still flowing water. You can kind of see a picture of one with the nice orange on the left-hand side. So those ones we monitor each year to make sure there's no pollutants. For the most part, they've been all deduced to be groundwater discharges from under drains and from farm fields and so on. So we also keep tabs on all the private storm sewer best management practices or the stormwater facilities. Currently, we have 108 on record. 62 are currently inspecting or currently inspected or under construction. We have 39 where inspections are due. Each year we send out notices to have these inspections done. So we're at that point of the year where we're going to send those notices out. And we have 8 stormwater BMPs that were constructed prior to stormwater maintenance agreements and stormwater ordinances. So those ones we kind of keep tabs on and just to make sure they're operating. The Summit Township themselves, we have 6 stormwater facilities. We have the underground detention basin in front of the sewer authority building down in the garage. We have an underground facility here on the side and the wet pond in the back. We have the park, Nicana. We have a detention basin on one side and a bioswale on the other. And then our 2 newer ones, the municipal storage yard, we have a detention basin, and then the community park rain garden. As part of our permit, we have to have pollutant reduction plans. We've completed our LaBeouf Creek pollutant reduction plan. That was the rain garden and the detention basin over here in Community Park. That was to reduce total nitrogen discharges by 5%, and we've constructed the facilities size such that they should be able to do that. We're working on the pollutant reduction plan for Walnut Creek. We've been in negotiations with property owners to retrofit a couple of the detention ponds. That one we're looking to have a 15% decrease in sediment loading per year. Each of these, the pollutant reduction plans are supposed to be completed prior to the end of the current permit cycle, which is slated to be over on March 15th of 2023. The illicit discharges we had over the past year, we had a a sewage discharge from a property into LaBeouf Creek, which we sent notice of violations and it was subsequently cleaned up. We had a prohibited discharge into a township sewer, Summit Township storm sewer. It appeared that someone put in a pipe without getting the proper permits and everything there, but it turned out that they did not. And then we had a diesel fuel spill at Country Fair that was quickly addressed by the Perry Highway Host Company and then referred to the DEP for further action. We work with the Erie County Department of Planning for our public outreach. Each quarter, they put an article in the newsletter. You've probably seen them there. They also, this year, are looking to get the event booths going again now that we're able to have events. And they were always able to help with grant assistance. So the big thing is if you see a illicit discharge, please report it. You can call the township, you can email the township, or you can go to the township website under the Contact Us page. Really can't see on the picture, but this is a diesel fuel spill that we had a few years back. You can almost make out the rainbow sheen of the diesel fuel in the water. So the kind of the things we're looking at, if you see, please report. On the upper left-hand corner, we have what appears to be garbage from dumpsters seeping into storm drains. Top right, we have a grease that someone dumped down a storm drain. The bottom left, sediment from a construction site, and then the bottom right is where someone poured paint down a catch basin. So if you see things like this, please report them. And just to throw this out there, this is kind of a recurring theme within the township, is the orange outfalls and the rainbow sheens, which are actually caused by a naturally occurring iron oxidizing bacteria. This is not a pollutant. This is environmentally safe according to the DEP. So the big thing with the rainbow sheen is I tell people if you get a stick and you wave it in the water, if it breaks apart, it's iron, it's not fuel spill or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about it. And then other ways that you can always help, the roadside cleanup, stream cleanups, minimize fertilizer and herbicide use, minimize exposed soils when doing work, dispose of grass clippings and leaf clippings properly, don't store hazardous materials where they're being exposed to the elements. And with that, we'll leave it up to comments and questions.
Are there any questions?
One thing, Mark,
Yes, Jim?
you guys spray herbicide around the guardrails at the creeks and stuff. Now, I know you do it when it's dry, but it's still touching the ground at some point, and that's not healthy. It's just weeds around the guardrail. Why do you have to do that? And not just you, not just Summit, they do it in other townships.
No, they do it, and you know, PennDOT does it, we do it, all municipalities do it.
We just went through a large, reason of not using herbicides and fertilizers, and all you're doing is killing a few weeds.
And a lot of it has to do with safety and visibility. There are multiple intersections I know around town that, once the weeds start growing up, you can't see, so it becomes a safety hazard.
I didn't say cutting weeds, Mark. I said spraying herbicides. The new bridge you just put in here on Old French Road. Okay, that's way away from an intersection. But come July, those weeds are total dead because you sprayed a herbicide on them. I noticed that at on the other end, by Johnson Road, where I think it's Walnut Creek going under Old French Road. The weeds are completely dead, so something has been sprayed there. But they're not by an intersection. I don't have a problem with cutting stuff on my corner for site clearance, okay? But you're spraying herbicide, and Matt just got done saying don't use herbicides and fertilizer unless you really have to.
Yeah.
Why are we doing that as a township?
Any solution, any answers?
Well, what is the reason for spending the money and the time to kill the weeds around a guardrail on a bridge?
Well, like I say, a lot of, it's just not bridges where the guide rails are. A lot of the guide rails are, the one that comes to mind is Zimmerly in 97. You pull up 97, or pull up Zimmerly to 97, you go to look north, you can't see. So I know that's, one of the cases, but, as far as why we do it, I don't know.
As far as I knew, I thought we mainly just did the intersections.
And guide rails, bridges. Yeah,
But the other thing with the guide rails, there's reflector posts and stuff that we need people to be able to see at the nighttime, so they know that there's obstructions there.
and I can see exactly what it is that they're spraying and look into it, see if there's some alternatives to what they use, I'm not even sure that, what they're using is a toxic, I guess I would say.
If it's not water, it shouldn't be in the creek mark.
Yeah, there's natural products out there. I mean, I don't know what they use, soap and vinegar or something, but yeah, I'll definitely look into that, Jim, and I'll get back to you.
Like I said, if it's a site issue, I have no problem, I have no problem with Steve cutting my corner because it's a dangerous corner. Cut the grass.
Gotcha.
But spraying stuff around the bridges, the guardrails and the creek bridges and stuff,
Yep.
it's, I think, a waste of our money, and it's not being, you guys don't make the rules, but you should set the example, I guess. Yes?
Correct.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Question for Matt.
Yes.
You said there's a couple ponds that need something done with them before the end of the deadline, 2023?
We have our pollutant reduction plans. In Walnut Creek, we have to reduce sediment by 15%, and we've been working with some property owners down on Peach Street that have a huge detention ponds to retrofit those to possibly use to meet that requirement. I think we've been in negotiations for about 2 years now.
Yeah.
So we're still working on that. We actually started coming up with a plan B in case that falls through, so. But the goal is still to have that done.
That was the auto place and then the other one over there?
We were talking Advanced Auto and Target.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're still working on that. Crossing our fingers that we'll get somewhere.
Yeah, let's hope.
Anybody else? Okay, moving on. Land development, Tammy?
I have nothing,
Mr. Solicitor?
I have nothing.
Engineer Jones?
I think I said enough tonight. I have nothing to report.
Okay. Supervisor Lee?
Thanks for coming.
Supervisor Davis?
It looks like spring's right around the corner, getting ready to open the parks and get everything cleaned up. Just looking forward to winter being done with, so we'll see how the next couple of weeks go. We should be cleaning up and sprucing up, and May 1st, the park's open, so hopefully it doesn't snow too many more times. Get going, thanks for coming.
And then we got the new newsletter that'll be coming out shortly. Trying to address paving projects, storm sewer projects, where most of our work is going to take place this year, but I don't have all that information with me, but try to keep everybody, abreast of what we have coming in Summit here this summer. Public input, 3 minutes.
Any correspondence, Lisa? You skipped over 5.
Leah?
no.
Yeah, that's for the agenda. Any amendments to the agenda would be that.
Oh, it's correspondence.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Nope, no, I'll take that back.
Correspondence.
We have agenda, public comments for the agenda amendments. Correspondence, there's nothing at this point.
Just wondering.
Public input, 3 minutes. Concerns, questions? Okay, we're gonna, yes, sir. Just your name and address would be great.
Yeah, William Essigman, 8490 Dundee Road. I had a question, I guess at the last meeting you did a preliminary land development plan on Robinson Road. And what's the next step in that? Do you have to approve the final plan, or does that come back here for comment, or?
You want to touch on that, Tammy?
So he submitted a master plan, and then his next step would be he's gonna submit a phase 1, where he's planning on doing 4 lots, subdividing 4 lots.
What's the timetable on that?
I don't know.
Well, he's got to go through sewer planning module process, I believe.
He does.
I don't think they waived that.
And that would be
So with
public.
the sewer planning module, I would say you're probably, 4 months out as far as that process goes.
And you're able to look at the plans for the sewers?
Correct. And those are reviewed by the Summit Township Sewer Authority, which doesn't
Right.
necessarily fall under our watch.
Mhm. Understood.
But, yeah, and then they'll wind up with a copy of them over here to look at. But there's a whole process over to the sewer authority.
All right, so in order to review that, you would just get in touch with them and see what the plans are.
Yep,
All right, thank you.
yep, thank you. Okay, then after the meeting, we're gonna jump into a informational executive session with our solicitor, and have a discussion there, so, this time I'll take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion?
Second.